Okay. Well, we're so glad that you could join us for this webinar that we have today on recovery benefits of CBD. And Realm of Caring is so thankful to be joined by Dr. Chloe Givens, who is Chief Scientific Officer for Element Apothec and a longtime CBD and medical cannabis educator and expert. Dr. Chloe is a functional medicine pharmacist and proponent of holistic health solutions. So today, Dr. Chloe will take us through an education on the recovery benefits of CBD, and then we'll have time to answer some questions that poured into the Realm of Caring info line over the week, and then we'll be able to take questions live as well. So I'm going to toss it over to Chloe to start her education. And as I said, if you have any questions, just make sure you use that Q&A box as we go along. Thanks for
Thank you,
being here.
Sasha. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining. And thank you, Sasha, for that glowing introduction. And good afternoon to everyone, wherever you're joining from. I am so excited that you all have chosen to join us for our live webinar, Enhancing Your Recovery with CBD. And we have a very juicy session ahead, so I'm excited for us to jump right in. Again, my name is Dr. Chloe Givens, and as Sasha mentioned, I am a functional medicine and integrative health pharmacist, a certified CBD and medical cannabis expert, and the Chief Scientific Officer here at Element Apothec. We are a BIPOC founded B Corp, known for our doctor-formulated cannabinoid and integrative health products, as well as our educational initiatives that are geared towards not only healthcare providers, but the patient as well. So as Sasha said, we will have time for questions at the end. So we will go ahead and jump over to our next slide. We will be diving into several key areas to help you understand the benefits of CBD as it relates to recovery. So we are going to start by understanding the importance of recovery in overall health and well-being. We will then gain knowledge about the endocannabinoid system, or ECS. We will also explore how the endocannabinoid system supports recovery and fitness while evaluating the role of CBD in muscle repair and inflammation reduction, as well as pain relief. We will also touch on the benefits of some specific terpenes and the role that they play in recovery. And I'll even provide some practical tips for integrating CBD into your recovery regimen. Finally, I will briefly touch on some of Element Apothec's products that are designed for rest and recovery, as well as relaxation. And hopefully, by the end of today's discussion, you will have a comprehensive understanding of how to enhance your recovery with CBD. So to begin, we will first kind of set the foundation by discussing the role of regular exercise and the guidelines as established by the World Health Organization. So the WHO, or World Health Organization, provides clear guidelines for physical activity for adults aged 18 to 64, and they recommend engaging in 150 to 300 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic exercise per week. Alternatively, adults can engage in at least 75 to 150 minutes of vigorous intensity aerobic activity each week. But what does that really look like? So to make these guidelines more tangible, let's talk about some of the activities that fit these recommendations. So for moderate intensity activities, for example, this can include walking briskly, cycling at a moderate pace, working out in the garden, or tending to your lawn, which those are two things that me and my newly fiance are super loving right now in the summer. Vigorous intensity activities can also include things like running, jogging, fast cycling, and even swimming laps. So it's important to note that all of these activities can help avoid a sedentary lifestyle, which we all know has significant health benefits. And regular physical activity is also linked to reduced risks of non-communicable diseases like cancer and diabetes, just for an example. It's also linked to better cardiovascular health and improved metabolic function, just to name a few. So we will go ahead and go to the next slide. So, in addition to improving things like our metabolic function and our cardiovascular health, engaging in regular physical activity also boosts the production of endorphins, often referred to as our feel good hormones. This truly leads to improved mood and a reduction in symptoms associated with anxiety and depression. And this regular exercise can also help regulate sleep patterns and improve sleep quality, all of which contribute to our overall mental and physical health. Additionally, exercise activates our endocannabinoid system, or ECS, which plays a crucial role in pain regulation and mood stabilization. And we will discuss this further, but for now, this system helps in managing discomfort and emotional stress. It's also important to note that when we talk about engaging in regular physical activity for our overall health and well being, recovery periods are an essential piece of this puzzle. And this is because recovery helps to restore the body's natural balance after intense physical activity. This can include rehydration, nutrient replenishment, and muscle repair. And this proper recovery process also helps in managing discomfort and reducing inflammation in the body. All right, on our next slide, after we engage in any type of intense exercise, our muscles are going to undergo micro tears, and these need to be repaired for muscle growth. Enhancing muscle repair can be achieved by reducing inflammation through several different anti inflammatory pathways. And this is where our endocannabinoid system functions to maintain that homeostasis. There are additional techniques that you can utilize, like ice baths or compression therapy, as well as anti inflammatory and antioxidant rich foods. They can help in reducing inflammation. And the reason this is so important is because oxidative stress occurs when there is an imbalance between free radicals and antioxidants in the body. So, consuming antioxidants can help neutralize those free radicals and reduce that oxidative stress and ultimately help reduce damage to our muscle tissues. It's also important, of course, to prioritize flexibility and joint health through adequate rest and nutrition and other targeted stretches to help aid in repair and prevent injuries. All right, next slide. Another key aspect of an adequate recovery regimen includes managing stress. So, high levels of cortisol, also known as our stress hormone, can contribute to anxiety and other health issues. And what's great about engaging in regular exercise and even mindfulness techniques is that they all can help reduce excessively high cortisol levels. Engaging in regular physical activity and dedicated blocks of time to exercise is also going to naturally expand our energy and increase the drive to sleep, which we are going to talk about. Our body naturally is going to sleep restorative sleep to recover and repair. And this is something that we will get into a little bit more later on in the presentation. Next slide. Okay, so this is one of my favorite things to talk about. This is our endocannabinoid system. So, the endocannabinoid system, also referred to as the ECS, is a complex network of receptors, including the well known cannabinoid receptors CB1 and CB2, as well as non cannabinoid receptors and other enzymes that work together to promote homeostasis. CB1 receptors are going to be primarily located in the brain as well as the peripheral nerves, and they are going to work to really modulate the release of neurotransmitters that influence our mood, our pain sensations, and our overall brain function. CB2 receptors are going to be found primarily in our immune tissues, and they are going to play a crucial role in immunomodulation, which provides anti-inflammatory and anti-nociceptive or pain-relieving effects. Next slide. Okay, so if you are not familiar with cannabinoids, in short, they are naturally occurring compounds that are found within the cannabis plant. The body is also naturally producing its own cannabinoids, which are referred to as endocannabinoids, endo meaning within the body. And these include anandamide, which is also listed as AEA, and 2-arachidonyl glycerol, or 2-AG. These endocannabinoids help the ECS achieve its primary goal, which is to promote and maintain that homeostasis. And this occurs by working synergistically with various other body systems to maintain that balance and optimal functioning. Next slide. Okay, so along with our endogenous endocannabinoids, there are also what are called phytocannabinoids, such as CBD, which I'm sure we're all familiar with, THC, CBN, and CBG, just to name a few. These compounds are not produced within the body, but they are instead derived from plants, hence phyto, meaning coming from plants. Next slide. Okay, so to tie everything together, as I mentioned, the endocannabinoid system plays a significant role in both fitness and recovery. Anandamide, which we now know is one of our endocannabinoids, is believed to play a significant role in the sensation known as the runner's high. So what's fascinating about this is that endorphin release we experience in that classic euphoria and reduced anxiety, often experienced after prolonged exercise, may actually be attributed to elevated levels of anandamide in the bloodstream. So this to me is fascinating, and it just further demonstrates how the endocannabinoid system is working behind the scenes in that synergistic way with our other bodily systems. Regular physical activity has also been shown to increase endocannabinoid tone, which refers to overall activity levels of the ECS. This enhancement may contribute to long-term benefits of consistent exercise, including improved mood, stress resilience, improvements in pain relief, relaxation, anxiety reduction, and even overall well-being and longevity. Again, the ECS plays a critical role in modulating this inflammatory response, which is essential for recovery. This activation can not only reduce inflammation, but it can also aid in faster recovery and reduced muscle soreness. So beyond the physical recovery process, the endocannabinoid system also contributes to physiological recovery by enhancing mood and promoting relaxation, which we will discuss on the next slide. So when it comes to our muscle repair, the endocannabinoid system is incredibly influential, as I mentioned. We touched on the fact that muscle damage occurs due to exercise and the triggering of that inflammatory response. And as we know, this is a natural part of the healing process. But what's amazing is that the ECS is again working throughout this process to promote those anti-inflammatory effects, potentially speeding up the muscle recovery process and mitigating any pain or swelling that typically follows intense exercise. Pain modulation is another role of the ECS, and our endocannabinoids can modulate this pain perception, which can reduce post-exercise pain. This can be particularly beneficial for athletes and other individuals who engage in regular physical activity, as it helps them manage any discomfort and recover more quickly. Studies also indicate that endocannabinoids and the ECS activation can reduce pro-inflammatory cytokines, again, leading to faster recovery. The endocannabinoid system also enhances satellite cell activation, which I recently learned, and this is necessary for muscle repair. This finding suggests that the endocannabinoid system not only helps in reducing inflammation, but it also plays a direct role in the muscle regeneration process by promoting the activity of those satellite cells. So that's pretty cool to me. Next slide. In my humble opinion, and as someone who loves fitness and exercises daily, I feel that understanding the inflammation process is key to really appreciating the endocannabinoid system's role in our recovery. Again, we know that inflammation is a critical response to the body to injury or infection, but learning how the ECS is working to promote this healing never ceases to amaze me. Without getting too sciencey, just know that when we are talking about this process of recovery, our endocannabinoids, which we now know are AEA and 2AG, are binding to our CB2 receptors and inhibiting the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines and promoting the production of anti-inflammatory cytokines. So this is what is helping reduce that inflammation and support the overall healing process. Next slide. The endocannabinoid system is also going to play a vital role in overall fitness enhancement. So how is this possible? By regulating appetite, energy storage, and even insulin sensitivity, our endocannabinoid system actually has the potential to maintain body weight, to optimize metabolic health, and both of those are crucial for overall fitness. Reducing inflammation, managing discomfort, and enhancing muscle recovery all ultimately are going to allow for quicker recovery. Studies have also found that ECS causes vasodilation and bronchodilation, which is going to further improve our blood flow and respiratory efficiency. This is going to then lead to better performance during physical activities and a quicker recovery afterward. So pretty amazing how our endocannabinoid system is so involved in this recovery process. Next slide. Okay, so now we are going to discuss the relationship between CBD and our endocannabinoid system. Cannabidiol, or CBD, is a non-intoxicating cannabinoid that is found in the cannabis or hemp plant. CBD is often derived from hemp, which again is a type of cannabis that's bred to have high levels of CBD and low levels of THC, which adheres to that 2018 Farm Bill regulations, which allows up to 0.3% THC in hemp-derived products. CBD also inhibits the enzyme fatty acid amide hydrolase, or FAAH, and this is going to prevent the breakdown of anandamide and other endocannabinoids, which enhances their effects. Another interesting aspect about CBD is that it acts as an antioxidant, which is going to reduce oxidative stress and prevent neuron damage, which again is going to contribute to overall brain health as well as reduced inflammation. It's also going to support neuron growth in the hippocampus, which is essential for learning and memory and even emotional regulation. And it's also going to enhance brain plasticity and has been shown to have the potential to protect against neurotoxicity. So pretty amazing. Next slide. So again, CBD is playing a crucial role in assisting the endocannabinoid system in maintaining this homeostasis or balance by aiding in the absorption of our endocannabinoids. As I mentioned, it does not directly bind to CB1 or CB2 receptors like THC, for example, but that's an entirely other conversation. But it does directly influence their activity, which is going to ease inflammation and discomfort. Because it demonstrates this anti-inflammatory perspective, the science does support that it is beneficial for reducing post-exercise inflammation, aiding in muscle recovery, and managing any post-workout soreness and discomfort due to its analgesic effects. Next slide. CBD also promotes protein synthesis, which is going to be essential for muscle repair and growth. This process is going to facilitate muscle regeneration post-exercise, which is going to aid again in that recovery process. And it has potent anti-inflammatory properties that can reduce that muscle inflammation and speed up recovery time, as we've discussed. More studies have also demonstrated that CBD enhances healing capacity by promoting the release of arachidonic acid, improving cell differentiation, and reducing muscle damage markers. So, research, of course, is ongoing, but this does show promising implications for any athletes and any people who are seeking natural methods for helping muscle repair and muscle growth. Next slide. Perfect. Okay, so besides CBD, there are other minor cannabinoids that play a role in recovery as well. And I don't want to get too involved, but I do just want to give you a brief background on those. So there is CBG or cannabigerol, which may support recovery from exercise-induced delayed onset muscle soreness, or DOMS. I know that's a mouthful, but this is actually rather common. And DOMS is a type of muscle pain that peaks 1 to 2 days after strenuous activity and typically resolves within about 4 to 5 days. CBG has shown potential in helping with this muscle recovery process due to its anti-inflammatory properties similar to CBD. And this is what makes it beneficial for athletes or other individuals engaged in regular physical activities. CBN or cannabinol is most well known for its sedative effects. And when you hear CBN, you should automatically think of improved sleep quality and or duration, all of which are going to be crucial for recovery and overall well-being. I also do want to mention the entourage effect, which is a phenomenon that suggests that compounds in cannabis work together more effectively than when they are used in isolation. This means that while cannabinoids like CBD are well known and researched, the presence of other cannabinoids and even terpenes, which we will talk about, are all synergistically enhancing the therapeutic benefits of CBD, for example. The key takeaways with this to remember is that the entourage effect ultimately enhances the therapeutic effects of CBD, creating more effective recovery outcomes. And this synergy is also why whole plant cannabis medicine is often considered more effective than isolated compounds, which is really interesting. Next slide. So this is where it gets really fun. I know I mentioned terpenes, but what exactly are they? So terpenes are organic compounds that are found in several different plants, including cannabis. And what's so fascinating to me is that they are responsible for the distinct aromas, flavors, and even some of the effects that these plants have when ingested or applied. For a bit more background, terpenes are located in the part of the cannabis plant called the trichomes or other plants, and this is also going to contain cannabinoids and other beneficial compounds. There are roughly 200 plus different terpenes that can be found in cannabis alone, and these compounds contribute to the plant's therapeutic properties. How do they do this though? Again, this is by working synergistically with those other cannabinoids and what we now know is the entourage effect, which is just tying everything together. Next slide. So listed here are a few of the most common and well-known terpenes, and we will dive into each a bit further just to give you a baseline. But for starters, we have myrcene, and this is known for its sedative and muscle relaxing effects, which can be beneficial for recovery after any intense physical activity. And it is also going to have those anti-inflammatory and analgesic properties. We also have limonene, which is recognized for its uplifting and mood enhancing effects, and it also has anti-anxiety and antidepressant properties, which can help improve mental well-being during recovery. Additionally, limonene has anti-inflammatory and even gastroprotective properties, which we'll talk about more. We also have beta-caryophyllene, and this terpene is unique because it can actually interact with CB2 receptors. It is known for its anti-inflammatory and analgesic effects, and this makes it useful for pain relief and muscle relaxation. Next slide. Okay, so myrcene is the most commonly found terpene in modern cannabis, and it is a popular flavoring and food additive used in the food and beverage manufacturing industry. It also occurs naturally in several other plant species, including hops, mangoes, parsley, bay leaves, and thyme. What's unique about myrcene is that it possesses anxiolytic, antioxidant, anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, and analgesic or pain relieving properties. It's also known for its more sedative and muscle relaxant effects. And while research is still ongoing, we do know that myrcene is one of the sedative agents that is found in hops, and therefore it is well known for its calming effects, and it's utilized most often at night to help support restful sleep. This again is pulling in that sleep factor, which is a key piece in our optimized recovery regimen. Limonene, which you can see here, is the second most commonly found terpene in nature. And besides the cannabis plant, it occurs naturally in limes, lemons, oranges, grapefruits, and even rosemary and peppermint. The therapeutic application of limonene has been extensively studied, and many beneficial effects on health have been determined from this one terpene alone. Limonene is also known as the happy terp or the happy terpene because it produces energizing and mood elevating and even stress relieving effects. We also have linalool, which is another common terpene known for its relaxing and soothing effects, and it contains antibacterial properties to help fight cell damaging bacteria. It also has a large history of being used as a sedative and muscle relaxer in traditional medicine practices, which I thought was really interesting. Of course, again, there is more research that needs to be done, but linalool has been shown to effectively reduce anxiety, effectively reduce depression, and effectively reduce stress, as well as relax and soothe. Next slide. Okay, just a few more. Pinene is one of the terpenes that is found in several essential oils and many different plants. There is a great variety of its pharmacologic effects, including its gastroprotective and cytoprotective and even anticonvulsant and neuroprotective effects. But it does also possess that anti-inflammatory piece, which is great for enhancing recovery. Caryophyllene or beta-caryophyllene is one of the dominating terpenes, and it has a very spicy, woody, and slightly sweet aroma that's found in things like black pepper, hops, cloves, just to name a few. It also is the only terpene that acts as a cannabinoid, meaning it is a CB2 selective agonist that is directly interacting with our endocannabinoid system. Because of this, it can support the immune system, relieve discomfort, soothe and relax the body, and provides potent anti-inflammatory effects while also being gastroprotective. So that's a really interesting piece that any pharmacists or other healthcare providers on the call can appreciate, because that is what sets it apart from other anti-inflammatory agents, because it does have that gastroprotective piece. We also have terpinolene, and it has strong antioxidant activity as well. And again, it has a woody and slightly herbaceous aroma that contains those analgesic and pain-killing properties. Next slide. Okay, so I have mentioned sleep a few separate times, but we are finally going to talk about it in detail. Sleep, of course, is one of the most critical components of recovery, and the synergistic effects of cannabinoids and terpenes through what we now know is the entourage effect can all play a significant role in enhancing recovery and enhancing sleep quality. Again, our cannabinoids like CBD and certain terpenes can help lower anxiety levels and induce relaxation, both of which are crucial for falling asleep and staying asleep, which I know so many people struggle there. Their anti-inflammatory and analgesic properties are also going to help reduce any discomfort, further promoting a restful night's sleep. It can be extremely easy to neglect adequate 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night, and I am definitely guilty of this. So it's imperative to remember that sleep is a crucial piece of our recovery because it supports the body's natural healing processes. Terpenes, again, such as our limonene and linalool, have those anxiolytic properties, meaning that they can help lower anxiety levels and help reduce any anxiety, leading to a more a more relaxed state, making it easier for us to fall asleep. Next slide. So, what are we going to do with all of this information, and how can we implement it into our daily routines? So, if you are beginning to use CBD or any other supplements or therapies for that matter, it's important to always start low and go slow. This means start with a low dose and gradually adjust based on your body's response. This approach is going to allow you to find the optimal dose for your specific needs while also minimizing any potential side effects. And you can also monitor for the desired effect and make any adjustments as needed. Using CBD both before and after your workouts can also be highly beneficial. Pre-workout, CBD can help reduce inflammation, it can help improve mobility, it can prepare your body for physical activity. And post-workout, utilizing CBD can help aid in muscle recovery, reduce soreness, and help your body ultimately heal. You can also incorporate CBD into your evening routine, as it will again promote relaxation and better sleep. And this can be particularly helpful if you have experienced any post-exercise discomfort or if you have difficulty winding down after a long day, which I definitely fit into that category. Aside from just utilizing products, it's also important to maintain a balanced diet that includes anti-inflammatory foods to support your overall health and wellness recovery in conjunction with things like CBD. Consistency is also going to be an important factor to consider. Regular use of CBD combined with our other healthy lifestyle practices that we just touched on can help maximize the effectiveness of your recovery. And consistency in dosing in your routine can also help your body maintain balance and support long-term wellness. If you do plan on looking for CBD products to incorporate into your routine, it is crucial to choose high quality products from reputable brands. I cannot stress that enough. This means ensuring that the CBD is sourced from organically grown hemp, and this is going to reduce the risk of any exposure to harmful pesticides and other chemicals And just for a little bit of background, here at Element Apothec, our hemp is grown on a multi-generational family-owned farm, which is USDA certified 100% organic. And so you are guaranteed the absolute best when you utilize our products. It's also really important to look for products that have been third-party tested for purity and potency. And for example, the organic hemp that is used to extract our CBD oil here at Element Apothec is grown on soil which has been tested for chemicals, pesticides, and trace heavy metals. Not only is the farmland certified USD organic, the extraction laboratory is also certified organic, CGMP certified, and kosher. Additionally, every batch of our products is fully tested using third-party laboratories to ensure quality and potency. And our COAs, or certificates of analysis, are available on our website via a QR code, and it's printed on every product. So healthcare providers or patients, the general consumer, anyone interested can simply scan that QR code with their phone or other smart device and access any pertinent information about that product and batch. So again, looking for companies and products that really prioritize safety and efficacy is going to be really important if you are going to choose to utilize CBD in your routine. Next slide. So it's also important to choose the product type that best suits your unique needs and lifestyle. So we have several options here at Element Apothec, including tinctures, topicals, patches, and some exciting new products soon to come. And we will do a brief overview of those before closing out the presentation. Next slide. So we have our Relief Wellness Patch, and each patch contains 35 milligrams of controlled release CBD, and this is going to provide localized relief. This patch is going to help support mobility and muscle recovery. It's also going to enhance overall body wellness and help ease tension and discomfort, which relates back to everything we've talked about today. To use this patch, simply apply it to the shoulder, the back, or any other area of discomfort and wear it continuously for up to 24 hours. A single patch at Element Apothec is $6.49, and a pack of 10 is priced at $59.99. Next slide. We have a few testimonials there that you can read at your leisure. We'll go ahead and go to the next slide. We also have our Rest, Relax, Recover tincture, and this formula is available in 2 different dosages. So we have 2 different dosages to meet your unique needs. We have a 500 milligram and a 1500 milligram tincture, and this product is going to help support not only healthy sleep, but overall body wellness. It is going to help aid in muscle recovery and boost immunity. To use this product, you can take up to 1 dropper full daily, hold under the tongue for 30 to 60 seconds, and then swallow to ensure full absorption. Next slide. And we'll go to the next one. We also have our Nourish Body Lotion, which is very popular, and this product contains 1,000 milligrams of CBD and 100 milligrams of CBG. This lotion helps support balance, relieve irritation, and is ultra moisturizing for the skin. To use, simply apply to the entire body, focusing on the areas of dryness. Next slide. And we'll go to the next. We also have our Be Well tincture, last but not least, and this product is made up of 50 milligrams of CBD, 10 milligrams of CBG, and 5 milligrams of CBN per liter. It can be used to support healthy sleep and mood, help boost immunity, and support overall wellness. Again, to take this product, take up to 1 dropper full daily, hold under the tongue for 30 to 60 seconds before swallowing, And this one fluid ounce bottle is priced at $99.99. What I love most is that by incorporating any of these products into your recovery routine, you can harness the synergistic effects of cannabinoids, terpenes, and other botanicals to really enhance your overall well being and support your body's natural recovery processes. As always, it's important to consult with a healthcare provider before starting any new supplement regimen, especially if you have any underlying health conditions or if you're taking any other medications or supplements. And now we will go ahead and open the floor up to questions.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I loved so much of what you had to share here, but what I especially loved was the focus on how CBD really aids the recovery and how cannabinoids aid the recovery. Because a lot of people, they think, oh, well, why not just take Tylenol? It works quicker, it's faster, it's anti-inflammatory, or just any other OTC medication. But what we're talking about here is actually recovery and recovering the muscle and repairing the muscle, and so that way you can improve your performance over time rather than just masking the pain. So I really loved that you touched on that, because it's a big point of confusion, I think, for people, or just they're just not aware yet so much.
Absolutely. And that's another reason why I feel like this piece with the education is so important because there seems to still be this disconnect between contemporary medicine, which is fantastic. I'm a pharmacist, obviously, I'm trained in that more Western perspective, but there is this holistic piece as well. And like you said, really digging into the how is CBD really helping aid this natural recovery process. And like you said, not just taking a pill and masking the underlying symptoms, we're really trying to recover and get to that root cause ultimately.
Yes, absolutely. So we do have some questions from people writing in, but someone did just write in for a Q&A box, and they asked to explain the benefits of transdermal versus sublingual, which I'm really glad, because this can lead into more questions about topicals. But so transdermal versus sublingual, or just swallowing it, not letting it hold under the tongue. Can you explain those benefits?
Yeah, absolutely. So, in general, both topical and ingested CBD are going to be effective, but they do work differently. So, topical CBD is going to be applied obviously directly to the skin, and it's going to interact with cannabinoid receptors in the epidermis. So, it's going to provide that localized relief. And this is going to, again, be beneficial for targeting any specific areas of discomfort, such as our muscle soreness or sore joints. But then when we have our ingested CBD, like the sublingual products, those are going to offer systemic benefits. And so I do just want to say that when you are applying CBD topically, there is going to be some systemic absorption, but it's nothing compared to ingesting it through the sublingual route of administration. Um, so when it's consumed this way, it's going to be absorbed directly into your bloodstream, and it's going to start interacting with that entire endocannabinoid system and really providing that overall relief throughout the body. So comparing that to transdermal, the sublingual method is going to be useful for managing broader issues, such as generalized inflammation, maybe anxiety, helping support that, and also maybe supporting sleep.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yes. And we had some questions. So I'm glad you touched upon just using it as a topical rather than ingesting. They're both going to have their benefits, and you might
Mhm.
not realize as many benefits if you're taking topically rather than ingesting and getting it into that bloodstream. But as
Mhm.
for example, for some people who wrote in, they are athletes and they get drug tested before they enter races. And so they
Yeah.
want to be able to use natural products to aid in muscle inflammation. This person who wrote in struggled with tendinitis specifically. So for that case scenario, what products would you suggest leaning towards?
Yeah, this is such a great question. And this was actually something that when I was still learning back when I was in pharmacy school, I was really curious about because it makes you kind of hesitant to want to utilize the products if you're not sure if it's going to show up on a drug screen. So, really, what you need to understand is making sure that the products that you're buying and using are THC free. So the way to know this again is, is there transparency with the brand? Do they explain on the website where the product is coming from? But even more than that, there are CBD isolate products and there are full spectrum products, and then there are broad spectrum CBD products. So if you really want to make sure that there's absolutely no THC, without a without a doubt, you can take it, you can take your drug screen and you're going to be good. I would personally recommend a CBD isolate or a broad spectrum CBD product. And so, for example, all of our products at Element Apothec are broad spectrum and THC free. So really just knowing the transparency behind the brand and the products is going to be super beneficial.
Awesome. And there's a lot that are coming in that are like the questions that we receive, which is great because it's a lot of people have the same kind of questions. And so I'll talk about post-operative recovery and pain relief as a question because somebody else wrote in, they were a physical therapist and they help clients with post-surgery. Would CBD be good to recommend to someone as they recover from, for example, ACL surgery? And then this person who wrote in here was specific to post-operative recovery and pain relief. And so how could CBD aid in that process?
Yeah, that's a great question. And again, CBD has those anti-inflammatory properties that are really going to help reduce swelling. It's going to help with any pain associated with that post-surgery recovery. And it can also help promote better sleep, which, as we talked about, is a crucial piece of the recovery process. So again, making sure you know where the product is sourced from, but I definitely think incorporating CBD into that post-surgical recovery process is going to be super beneficial.
Absolutely. And just like you said earlier, when you spoke about, being transparent with your doctor or your pharmacist or whoever your medical professional that is helping you with being transparent that you do want to use CBD or cannabinoid therapy in conjunction with the therapy that they're providing is always
Mhm.
important, just so your medical team is on the same page as you. Just
Yeah.
wanted to throw that out there. Um,
No,
yeah.
absolutely. And that also is where the educational piece, even for healthcare providers, is so needed. Um, because, I've thought about this more and more, just having conversations with some of my other pharmacy friends. And, we're taught to, if someone says, oh, I utilize CBD or I utilize cannabis in other forms, our natural response is supposed to be, don't do that, you shouldn't do that. And the reason is because we're not trained in that conventional setting to know the ins and outs of what that looks like for certain people. And our job as healthcare providers, specifically for me as a pharmacist, is to look at the risk versus benefit,
Mhm.
and it's all about safety for the patient. So if we don't know the ins and outs of something, then by default, we're going to say, we would recommend you don't do that because we're just trying to make sure they're safe.
Mhm.
Um, but that's why I think, being educated about how these therapies work is really important.
Absolutely. And one person wrote in to ask about how long it takes CBD to, or how long does it take to experience the benefits of CBD, whether that be
Mhm.
recovery or skin use. And this is something we always get at Realm of Caring too. And that setting expectations piece is always difficult because it can take longer than, say, taking an over-the-counter
Mhm.
anti-inflammatory or analgesic. So about how long
Absolutely.
would someone, until someone would experience those benefits?
It's honestly really patient specific. And really just depends on what they're utilizing it for, what benefit they're expecting to see. So I can't really give you an exact time frame, but again, consistency is going to be key. So with any of these more natural therapies that you're implementing, you can't just take it one day and then not take it for several days after that and expect to see some like magical effect. That's not really how it works. And because it is working on your endocannabinoid system, the consistency is really going to be key to help kind of optimize that whole process. So yeah, I would say, within a couple of weeks, definitely, if it's something that's being used topically, that should work, rather quickly. But also if you are taking it, for example, sublingually, that should have an immediate effect because it's going to start working immediately within the body. So that may have a quicker onset of action, so to speak. But again, it is going to be specific for each unique person.
Hmm. Absolutely. And someone wrote about CBD benefits for the brain versus THC, which
Mhm.
is, I think it's also parallel to recovery because if we're talking about brain health, we have a lot of conditions, diseases that are going to decline our brain health. So CBD has its own benefits to help enhance and repair and improve. So can you discuss a little bit the benefits and how potentially it differs from THC a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, CBD and THC are both cannabinoids, but the main difference is one's intoxicating and one is not. And so obviously THC is going to be that more intoxicating, so to speak, cannabinoid, and CBD is non-intoxicating. So that's really why you see in the literature that CBD has more of that neuroprotective effect. Um, I still need to do more research on that to really be able to speak to THC in that same way. But it's really just about how they're interacting with the body. And again, you know, THC does have its own therapeutic benefit and it has its time and place where it can be useful for certain people. So I never want to discourage people from wanting to learn more about it. But CBD is um, a cannabinoid that's very well studied for its, again, neuroprotective effects, which again kind of relates to brain health. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit about the difference there.
Mhm. Yes, and I loved this question that came in because it comes from a healthcare professional and it comes from an esthetician. They wrote in to ask about a recovery question for themselves. I loved it because it's focusing on the self-care aspect, which is part of this whole holistic journey, is just,
Yep.
there's a lot of pieces that we have to consider. But they asked if there's something they could use to help their hands recover after a day's work. As of right now, they're not experiencing pain, but they know it's bound to happen in their field and they want to be able to prevent it for as long as possible. So this is more talking about a preventative method or use for CBD.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that preventative piece. I'm all about preventative medicine. So that's a really awesome question. Um, and luckily, Element Apothec does have our Nourish Body Lotion, which this person could absolutely benefit from. And so, again, it's going to contain CBD, but also CBG, and it's going to be perfect for helping soothe and hydrate the hands. And because it does have those anti-inflammatory properties, in addition to the benefits of CBG, which is going to help in preventing pain and irritation, I think it would be great for this person to utilize that maybe at the end of the day, like before going to bed, just rubbing that all over the hands to help soothe sore muscles and help keep the skin healthy and moisturized. And again, consistency is key. So I definitely think that that would be a great preventative, modality that she could implement into her daily routine.
Absolutely. And I'm going to touch on one more question because it goes to the mental health aspect when it comes to athletes and performance. I know we talked a lot about muscle recovery and skin benefits. One individual who is an athlete wrote in about pre-performance anxiety and jitters, and is this something that could help with that? I know we also touched on pre and post workout. So
Yeah.
for the anxiety piece and mental health, how could that help?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a really great question too, because I don't know if a lot of people even know the extensive variety of, um, you know, just different aspects of health that
Mm.
CBD can really help influence. So utilizing CBD for reducing anxiety is great. I would recommend probably a tincture formula because again, it's probably going to be a bit more quicker acting, or a capsule, something like that before performance to
Mhm.
help kind of calm the nerves. And the CBD again is going to be interacting with the neurotransmitters, specifically serotonin in this case, to help the brain function optimally and reduce anxiety and promote a sense of calm. So definitely could be utilized pre-workout, could also be utilized post-workout. And what's so cool is that you have these terpenes that we learned about as well that also promote, that anti-anxiety piece. So terpenes like the limonene are going to be particularly effective because it's got those anti-anxiety properties. So yeah, I would definitely recommend using the CBD pre-performance, and see if that kind of helps ease any of the anxiety or jitters.
Yeah, no limit to what these beautiful compounds are possible
Mhm.
of.
I
Well, I
know.
know we're at the hour, and there's a couple more questions. And for some who have just those one-on-one, really case-specific questions, Realm of Caring does have a free hotline where anybody could call or write in and ask questions and get one-on-one support for specific cases. And you can just email info@realmofcaring.org. But I'm going to touch out or reach out to some of those who asked some of questions in the chat. But Dr. Chloe, thank you so much for your time, your wisdom, your beautiful slides, your energy. Our community, we
Absolutely.
love Element Apothec, and we're so glad that you could join us today and help inform us a little bit more.
Absolutely, Sasha. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here. I really enjoyed our conversation. And if there are any specific questions that you receive, if you would like any help with answering those, definitely let me know.
Yes.
And yeah, we love the team at Realm of Caring. So thank you again for such a great opportunity.
Yes. And with these questions, I'm feeling like we'll have to do a part 2 one day. So we'll
Yeah,
work on that.
absolutely. That
Awesome.
sounds
Well, thank you
great.
so much.
Thank you so much.